I was really hoping Monster Hunter Rise would get me into the Monster Hunter franchise, but I don't think it will.
Hideo review.
Alright, a little bit of backstory. The Monster Hunter franchise has been touted for all sorts of amazing things that it includes, and its fan base is massive. And 5-6 years ago, I was on the Nintendo Enthusiast team, and everyone there was a Monster Hunter fan. So I'm like, okay, I'm really missing out on this franchise I didn't know. I went out, I picked up, I think it was Monster Hunter Ultimate 3, which was out on the Wii U. I was like, I gotta get into this. I got it for like 10-15 bucks. Played it for a good hour or two, and I was like, I hate this game. I can't play any more of this. And I actually returned it. It's one of the rare times I went out and returned the game. And I figured maybe it just doesn't click for me. Maybe it's a niche game, whatever. So fast forward 5 years, Monster Hunter has only grown as a franchise. More people have fallen in love with it. And now with Monster Hunter Rise coming out, I'm being told that this is going to have a lot more mainstream appeal. That's going to be the best looking game on the Switch. All sorts of good stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm excited for this demo because maybe now I will appreciate this game. Also having expanded the types of games I enjoy playing, maybe the demo, maybe I'll have a new perspective. And unfortunately, I just put in an hour into the demo. I played the different classes. I played all 4 missions, all 4 quests, and the same problems are there. I have to say, a lot of the new features that are introduced, so to my understanding, they've added a mount basically where you ride a dog. That I like because honestly, I could play a game about riding that dog and I would be happy. The controls and the speed of how that dog run are amazing. The way that you can actually drift with the dog feels amazing. I love that. Like, bring that Monster Hunter dog into Mario Kart, please. I would play with him. And also that addresses one of my complaints of the franchise, which is the characters are very sluggish. They're very bulky. They move slowly, and I understand that is part of the gameplay. It's part of the charm, and I guess it's to create a sense of something. I don't know what it is, but I know it's to create a sense of something. And it reminds me a little bit of my time with Dark Souls, where the movements are slow, and that makes the player have to think very intently. Like, if you're pushing a button, you better be sure that's the button you want to push at the time you're pushing it, because it's going to take 2-3 seconds to execute the animation or the movement, and if you did it at the wrong time or you spammed it, you're dead. I don't like those types of games. So that's actually a whole other thing. But the fact that now we have a mount that lets us move quickly, I like that. The fact that we have characters that are still sluggish, bulky, don't move quick, I still don't like that. Throughout my demo playthrough, I played with the massive cleaver, which is the first selection. Felt really satisfying to swing that thing, but again, so slow. Then I was told, oh, you might like the dual wield, the dual sword, I think. That I did like the speed, but it still has that Monster Hunter bulkiness, which just isn't satisfying to me. I also did the longbow, I think, the one with the bow. That I liked the range aspect. I like that. I'll just say that. I like the range aspect, but again, the slowness. And then I tried one other character. Oh, I think it was supposed to be a katana, which I was expecting like quick actions. No, it's just a big bulky katana, which is really unsatisfying to swing around. So those are the 4 characters I tried with. The outside of that, what are the other new mechanics? So they added like a silkworm that you can like Spider-Man your way everywhere. That's cool. I didn't really use it too much. I assume that's going to be a massive game changer for anyone who loves this franchise. The fact that you can just thwip everywhere you want, and how you can like actually ensnare different wyverns or wyverns. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And you can actually ride a beast and do all sorts of things. That's cool, but again, when you're on the beast, we're back to the issue that I hate, which is everything is super slow. So you have this monster which is trying to break free. You have to hold a button to move it around, and then when you hit an attack, you have to wait 3-4 seconds for that attack to take place, which is just not fun gameplay for me. The third thing that they added, so we've got the thwip. Oh, the riding. They go in hand, and then the dog. The other thing I have to say is that as a newcomer, as someone who is not really into the Monster Hunter franchise, this demo does a massive disservice at teaching a new player how to play the game. I did the first tutorial, the beginner noob mode first to learn how to play, And sure, they taught me how to run around, which was the most obvious thing. They didn't teach me that there's like 3 different ways to swing your weapon, or if they did, it was kind of like, oh yeah, just push all these buttons. They threw like 20 to 30 different terminology, foreign terminology terms at me of this is this is this. So like, when a game throws that much new information at you, you're gonna remember like 10% of it. So out of all that, I learned no new terminology because I didn't retain any of it. And then when I got into the battle, so I did the beginner battle where I'm fighting this like dinosaur thing. And I got my over enthusiastic dude just yelling like, yeah, do this. And they're like, hold like L and then do a menu. And I was like, okay, this pulls up a menu. And then I'm being attacked. So you'd think that for a beginner, maybe just pause the combat. Just for the tutorial. Pause the combat and say, all right, when you pull up this menu, you've got your wheel. And by the way, these items on this wheel, that's a healing item, that's a stamina item. You might want to use this because your stamina doesn't charge all the way. Like there's so many things I was learning in battle. It was just super overwhelming. And I was playing this on stream, so it's actually thanks to some viewers who were saying, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. So this is a game that, to my understanding, it's a game that is really good with the community. And I think you need almost like someone who's a little bit more of a veteran to bring you into the game and teach you the ins and outs, because to get thrown into it on your own, it's just, there's so much stuff. You don't know anything. There's no easing into it. Like I figure a demo would ease you into it. I didn't even realize that outside of the demo, so when you pull up the wheel, you can then open like another menu that you're using Y and A, and then all of your controls change depending if your sword or your weapon is sheathed or unsheathed, which took me forever. All of the controls are very non-intuitive for all the other games I've played, so nothing felt intuitive. And then they're telling me to like target a creature by pushing R, and then I can hold like push L to cycle through or something. So I learned that just by pushing R, you'll get the arrow that tells you where it's at. But it's not like, let's say, Zelda or other action games where it locks onto that character. You still have to move the camera. You still have to be responsible for keeping that target in your scope, at least as I understand it, because I couldn't figure out how to lock on that or have the camera move. So I can recognize this is a game with a lot of depth, and it's probably geared for those people that want less hand holding, because in that case, when you do pull something off, you can actually say that is my skill that brought down that monster. And I think that is what the appeal is to, as an outsider looking in. I'm like, okay, you put a lot of effort into learning this thing. You put a lot of effort into learning how to play well, and you've slain this beast, which you can now adorn your bulky armor body with to go slay a bigger beast. I get that. I don't like that. That's not for me. So as much as I love seeing the Monster Hunter franchise just grow in fame, get more popular, I hate to say that I have to just say I'm not a Monster Hunter fan. I don't think I ever will. This demo was really just hard. It was free and it was hard for me to get through, so I can never see myself spending money on it. And even if I got it for free, it would be really unappealing for me to play. So unfortunately, Monster Hunter, I'm gonna pass on Monster Hunter Rise because it's not me. And I get there's a lot of fans out there, so please, by no means is this review supposed to mean that it's a bad game. It's just a bad compatibility game with my taste. Those are my thoughts on Monster Hunter Rise, the demo. I'll see you on the next review, and until then, keep it classy.